And welcome back, everyone, to Friend or Foe Esports Season 7, the final season in our penultimate week. My name is Rare Adam. Alongside me is Brendan here for Blue Bayou Zoo versus Fat Pikachu. Oh my goodness. This is going to be an interesting one as both of these teams trying to get into those last couple of playoff spots. How are you doing today, Brendan?
I am exhausted, to be honest with you. FF is a lot of work, guys. It's a lot of work.
Lots of work behind the scenes, and of course, lots of work to get this onto broadcast. So we thank them all so much for all the hard work that they do behind the scenes. Everyone involved in that, of course. Brendan being a big part of an even bigger part of this whole broadcast. Nonetheless, we're into picks and bans here very quickly here. Syndra, Ornn, Lissandra banned away by BBZ. It's gonna be Shyvana, Fiora, and Gangplank banned away by the side of Fat Pikachu. They are taking every Jaffe champion off the table.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it looks like FP must have really scouted Jaffe or something. This is all Jaffe champions. Of course, Shyvana got a huge bounce recently, so I was really excited to see it. This is one of the reasons why I agreed to cast this game. So I'm a little depressed that I'm going to see Shyvana. Wow, interesting English. Shyvana for Jaffe. Maybe I'll get a Nidalee AD. Jaffe, maybe? Question mark. Feel like it blessed.
I'd love to see it. I had the pleasure of playing with his Nidalee once. It was in, I think, a for fun match. I played Silas support that game, but it was really fun. He had a really cool outplay as well, get like a quadra kill. Can't remember. Those were the days of everyone's favorite team to cast. But nonetheless, Yone gonna get picked up by a Firemana here, and actually in this week's edition of the FOF Connect, Firemana was talking about how they're perfectly comfortable just blind picking that Y1 into anything and just pulling it out no matter what.
I, of course, have known Jaffe for, I don't know, maybe 4, coming up on 5 years now. It's been a while. I used to play with Jaffe a lot, so his AD Nidalee used to troll me a lot. Firemana gets Yone, by the way, who's a Yone one-trick. Firemana. I'm really surprised about that. They also got Kaisa. Riven!
Oh!
Okay! This is going to be a spicy top.
This is pretty spicy already. I mean, you've got the Riven picked up on one side, and Riven's one of those champions that we don't see very often now because it's so feast or famine. And even when Riven feasts, it's not even that good, it feels like a lot of the time. So this will be interesting to see if what is broken can be reforged, and if Riven can actually reforge Fat Pikachu a win here. On the flip side, though, still waiting to see what Jaffe answers with. And of course, Jaffe's champion pool is so large that there could be anything that gets pulled out here.
Yeah, he has an extremely large champion pool, and Riven, as you said, is definitely a Feast of Famine champion. It's either you play Riven or you do not play Riven. It's one of those characters that require a lot of minutiae macro decisions in the game, and I'm really interested to see if Stormblaze can even play Riven. I don't really know. I'm not most familiar with their champion pool, but looks pretty good. On the side of BBZ, I'm extremely ecstatic with this draft, though. For BBZ, they got, Kaisa is probably the strongest character in the entire game at the moment. Yone, of course, Firemana is a Yone one-trick, and Kai is on Sejuani, who's extremely familiar with.
And of course, what that means as well for this Sejuani is that you're paired up with potentially 2 melee solo laners, which really sets up her ganks a lot better than usual. But nonetheless, yes, this Riven pick, we're going to keep going back to it because it's so off the wall in a sense here, especially considering Stormblast has been thrown on Ornn so many times this season. It feels like every time I cast Fat Pikachu, Stormblast is playing Ornn or Stormblast is playing Sion, and now potentially given the option to pull out the Riven, unless, and I'm going to throw this one out there, what if this is Jakunk playing Riven mid?
I mean, I feel like Riven might be pretty okay into Yone, actually, now that I think about it, just based on the dodging ability of the R. A Mumu. This is such a BBZ draft. Oh my god, this is like the most BBZ draft you can come across. FP, of course, with the Maokai, taking a page out of Yubi's book, and Nautilus should be going to Raptor in the bot lane. I need to see where this Riven's going. I think you might be right. This might be a mid Riven.
Yeah, and especially with the Silas now.
Fiddle?
What? It's a Maokai top lane?
Oh, it's Maokai
Okay,
top,
yeah,
Riven mid. Okay.
Yeah, this makes a lot more sense considering Stormblast's champ pool to play that Maokai, but now Jaffe gets a counter pick with the Sylas. I don't know if they knew exactly where that Riven was going, but just picking up that Sylas saying, hey, I'll pull that out, take that strong ultimate. There's a lot of very strong ultimates now for the Sylas to pick up, and they picked a Fiddlesticks afterwards, which gives a fourth ultimate for Jaffe to potentially steal and use to great effect. Granted, you're not going to get that passive fear from the Fiddlesticks ultimate, but you'll still get a whole boatload of damage, especially considering how much AP Jaffe's likely to build here. So once again, as you mentioned, a very BBZ draft where they're just looking to team fight no matter what, it feels like.
Sejuani is going to be looking to gank the solo lanes here, and that unfortunately means that BBZ's bot lane is going to be on the weak side. This is a very BBZ draft, and the side of FP, I need to see what they were cooking. They were chefing it up in this draft. They have essentially three flex picks. I mean, we pretty much know what the draft's going to be right now. We know Fiddlesticks is going to be jungle. You know, Maokai's going to be top. But Riven mid is an interesting pick. I don't think we've ever seen Jakunk play that. I'm going to look through their op.gg to see if they've even played Riven. I'm going to presume that Jakunk, of course, one of the stars of FP, one of the frontrunners for the MVP of the league, is pulling out Riven in a really pivotal game, right? This is two teams that are tied. This is, playoffs has really come down to the wire. And of course, Riven is one of Jakunk's most played characters on their op.gg. So
yeah,
maybe I was wrong.
Interesting to see it come through at the very least, because for the most part, Jakunk's been pulling out a lot of the Syndra, a lot of the Lissandra, thus why they are banned, the Orin banned away from Stormblast. And it was interesting to see how it developed, because you would expect the Maokai to be going jungle. It's been so often that Maokai has just been that default R1 jungle pick, because you want to have that engage, you want to have that tanky front line. You just want to sort of pick it because you don't want the other team to pick it. But now getting pulled out into that top side of the map, gonna have a very tough time against Jaffe, I think. And this is where, as you mentioned, that BBZ draft comes in. They're gonna play for their solo lanes. Red's just gonna be chilling on the bot side, waiting until Kai'Sa does Kai'Sa things and is able to 1v9 the game. But it's interesting considering what this game means to both of these teams. As we mentioned off the rip, both of these teams at 9 wins, they're in the playoff picture, but the playoff picture is so messy already that it's very hard to distinguish the difference between them. Jaffe going to get a nice little 8 gold bonus there from clearing out that effigy as well. So already BBZ out to a gold lead.
What's interesting is I'm trying to find on the Bible app, lollytics.com, the win rate of Yone into Riven, and I can't find it, which means that this pick is incredibly rare. So Jakunk must be really cooking something. Maybe it's in the top lane. I'm not positive about it in the top lane, but the top lane, apparently Riven wins only 49% of the time. So I am super interested in seeing this. I presume that Jakunk just likes Riven. They played a lot in their OP.gg. So it's all... I'm really looking at this mid lane. I've not seen this matchup in a long time mid. So
I don't think I've ever seen it mid. I think last time I saw this, it was, Riven versus Yasuo, which of course plays a little bit differently as well. But the Yone coming through for Fire Mana. We'll see what Y1 can cook up in this matchup. Nonetheless, it'll be fun. And Jakunk's a Riven main because they're using OG Battle Bunny Riven. All the fake ones, they'll use like Battle Bunny Prime or whatever, or the new championship one, the new old one. But fighting already on this bot side, lots of damage being taken by Oatmeal 1, 2, 3, 4 as Red gets to work with all those auto attacks, ends up getting the better end of that trade. And already you can see BBZ feeling okay with this draft as a whole as well. I think especially considering the bot lane matchup, Red is just going to be able to get that level 2 first and potentially look for a lot of damage onto Raptor.
Yeah, this is really good for their bot lane, BBZ's bot lane. They're going to get a lot of pressure here based on just health advantage. I have a question for you, Adam. Do you think that there's been 1,000... Oh, we see Raptor's just dead here.
Yeah.
Oh, he's just
try
dead,
and find that dredge line the back end to get any sort of trade, but Oatmeal going to be left to pick up the pieces off that one. They looked like they were going in again. Jacob Dudar takes a couple of tower shots for their trouble, but even the wave here is not in a good spot for Oatmeal considering their health bar, and Red just going to be able to reset potentially by a call and feel pretty good about things.
Yeah, this is a really good back for BBZ if Red decides to take it, and I think he does. So this is a big advantage for BBZ. They're up 10 farm. It's more going to be like around, I don't know, 13 for Ashe. Around like 5 of the difference, but really big farm. They got the kill, of course. Hoping to see a gank from Dax here.
Yeah, on this top side, Stormblast going to get frozen up, stunned through, but Jaffe doesn't have that Abscond Abduct back up and available. Stormblast will just be forced to burn that flash, and Dax getting to work, doing what they do best, ganking the solo lanes.
Ooh, interesting. Christian decides to go for a Dirk. Christian being red. Sorry, I'm really bad with using gamer names. You're gonna notice this throughout the entire cast. Yeah, Dirk call, which is definitely unorthodox for Kai'Sa nowadays, and as red is known throughout, a lot of FF is known for his red build, so I'm not surprised to see him go for something, a little crazy.
Sort of the old Kai'Sa build where you'd go Dirk into Phantom Dancer early, and it would just be, or you'd go Dirk into your Mythic, like Kraken Slayer, and you'd be able to get your Q evolve and then your E evolve really soon as well. There's a whole bunch of cooking that you can do with that, but I'm interested to see what that means for the build down the line, because now you see a lot of these AP Kaisas come through. Dirk is not part of any AP item, and if it was, I would be very concerned as to what Riot is smoking at that point. Nonetheless, Dax once again looking to revisit the top side of the map. Scotty Duck's gonna land onto Stormblast. No flash available, as you mentioned. The knockback just gonna be enough. Last auto attack frees him up. Stormblast should be falling soon. The Chain Lash is gonna be there, just barely cleaning that up. Jaffe saved the flash of note, as very close call on that top side, but it's still a solo kill, or not a solo
kill. 1, 2, 3, 4 goes down too. Bot lane here.
Yeah.
Oh, that flash was so sad.
Oh, just gets eaten up by the bandage toss, and Raptor has no answer for it. So BBZ finding 3 kills in this early stage.
Yeah, really smart by Jacob. They saw that the Nautilus went towards the river, and that means
yeah, Jakunk's on fire. Fireman collects that one up. And that matchup is not going as expected. We'll get another replay. The replay within the replay. Jakunk just gets a little bit too close to tower here. Doesn't respect that Q3 plus the Ignite coming through from Fire Mana. Spirit Unbound just going to clean that one up. As 4 early kills now for the side of BBZ as they look to continue their roll.
I gotta say that I think that I'm gonna flame FP here for not reading the magazine. We had a huge section on mid laners and what they should be banning, and Fire Mana talked in long length that they should be banning his Yone. And people keep living it up, and they keep losing to it. Yone is really strong for Fire Mana, and we're going to see Jakunk getting Jakunked by Fire Mana. So, I don't know.
Yeah, it's definitely odd to see this Yone still left up. And they've shown their willingness to blind pick it so often that Fireman at this point will just pick that whenever allowed to, as Red actually going to burn that cleanse just on a little engage from Raptor. Might not have needed to do so, but at the very least going to keep themselves safe on this bottom side of the map right now.
It's going to be a gank here. Bot lane, Dragon's up, so hopefully FP has the wherewithal of understanding that they could be getting ganked here. Dragon's up, they're pushed. And I think they do. A smart play by FP. They might okay, they should be good. I'm going to trust that they have the intelligence to understand they might be in a gank situation here.
Especially with the wave where it is. Side note, Oatmeal is down 20 CS already. Red has been allowed to cook on this bot side of the map, despite the red build, as you mentioned, with this early serrated Dirk. They're still feeling okay about this, but Kenny Train now showing up in that mid lane, 2v2 fighting going on. Ult kind of come through from the Riven. Jakunk will find that kill on the Fire Mana. The Soul Unbound was not enough to keep them safe, and their fate was sealed at the end of that one. But Jacob on this bottom side of the map is going to be crying all over Raptor there. There's no such thing as tears in this fight. Actually, Raptor will just fall instead. Red will collect a second kill for themselves as the CS lead continues to grow for the Kai'Sa.
Yeah, this is looking a little rough. Of course, FP has been using a sub, I believe. Oatmeal 1, 2, 3, 4 is usually subbing in for Blackpink Trash, who I believe is on vacation. Blackpink Trash is also our KDA leader on the board. And FP has definitely been a different team without them. I was talking to Raptor a little bit about the change, and he says that he loves playing with Oatmeal 1, 2, 3, 4. I had to keep the 1, 2, 3, 4, by the way. I have to say it, because that to me means that there's 1,233 Oatmeals, and he just got the 4th one.
But there might be just 1,234 oats in their oatmeal.
That's a lot of oats. Like a lot of oats.
It's a lot of oats, but oats aren't that big. And if you have like a big bowl of oatmeal, you can definitely get 1,234 oats in there.
There's no way. Is there that many in the oatmeal? Or is he a tiny engagement? But they're oatmeals are definitely, but like ults are like filling though, right? Don't they like sit in your stomach, kind of like bread?
It's just a big balanced breakfast as the Crow Storm comes topside here. Jaffe, unfortunately, despite stealing away the Twisted Advantage, or the Nature's Grasp, sorry, will not be able to escape that one as Fat Pikachu strike back on the top side.
Yeah, really smart. You see, Jaffe has this problem where I wouldn't say it's a problem, but he plays lanes extremely aggressive. He always plays upwards, and he forgets to ward, as what Jaffe does. Jaffe does Jaffe things, as we have all said multiple times. This is gonna be a free drag for BBZ because, of course, there was a top gank. Really smart play by BBZ, playing cross map, and Fiddlesticks is also smart by deciding to get the by Shelly on the top side. I think this is a secured dragon, secured Rift Herald.
Yeah, and you can see the verticality of the map sort of coming through there with this huge lead that they have on the bottom side and a first item collector coming through from Red. You know that they're going to be strong, willing to fight on this bottom side. Nonetheless, Fireman going over the wall, hijacked Nature's Grasp, not quite going to land onto anyone. I think that might have just been expiring, but everyone has now shifted up a lane effectively, moving to this top side of the map. Is Red just clearing out that mid wave, leaving a little bit of a window for Oatmeal, 1,234 to get a little bit more CS as well as a tower play.
So going collector on Kaisa guarantees that he's going to be going crit Kaisa, right? At least I think so. I can't say for certain with the red builds nowadays, but I know collector rushing first was really good on like Samira. I'm unfamiliar what he's going to build second. Maybe Phantom Dancer for Kaisa's second. I'm interested to see the game. Nice arrow, by the way.
The long-range arrow going to land onto Jaffe, is now feared away. Going to the wrong side of town here. Will try and get back in there with that Kingslayer. Dax actually shows up with a great ultimate as well, but it won't be enough for the time being. And now Nature's Grass going to be looking for an engage. But Raptor on this bottom side of the map needs to be careful. Red going over the wall. Curse of the Sad Mummy will be invested. Collected is the Nautilus. Dax as well. Very low on health. Needs to be very careful walking close to that wall. The Crow Storm might have just been able to eke it out, but nonetheless, Firemana shows up in the nick of time to keep the boar safe.
Yeah, that cross map arrow by Oatmeal 1, 2, 3, 4 was insane, by the way. That was a really good arrow. That was the reason they won that fight. They didn't lay their CC probably on the FP, but they still get the kill. And, engage here. Flash by Yon.
Yeah, forces the flash out of Firemana as Jakunk trying to find that kill. Will not end up finding it. I think was going for the all-in. At the very least, burns the summoner spell for it. And Riven Ultimate, not too long of a cooldown either. They may still invest in for this. The Soul Unbound will pull Firemana back. Just a little bit too early on the trigger is Jakunk. Stormblessed, though, still looking for a fight on this top side. Jaffe needs to be careful. Takes a tower shot for their troubles. But nonetheless, despite what seems to be a counter matchup in that top side for Jaffe, Stormblessed is able to weather the storm for the time being.
Yeah, they're the jungler and their AD carry has really gotten the Maokai back into the game. Maokai is fine with losing lane in most cases, and so if anything, they're technically ahead in this counter matchup. Maokai is fine going even. When you pick Maokai, you're not there to stomp lane. You're there to be a late game tank for your team and hopefully stack dragons. But BBZ's up the dragon right now with their just huge bot lane lead. As we're going to see them making a play potentially here. This is warded by FP though.
Yeah, there's full knowledge of the play. Dax potentially looking for that lane gank, but might not be able to find it. And that's the interaction I was thinking of there. Level 8 on Red, and now has a Q evolve. That is why you would go for the collector first item or any Dirk item into that Noon Quiver, because it gives you just enough AD to clear that one out. And now Raptor taking a little bit of extra damage from the Acathian Rain. Multiple members on this bottom side going in. Red going hella aggressive here. Will be able to find another kill for themselves. Great Curse of the Sad Mummy will land. Oatmeal gets bandaged up as well. Raptor looking for some safety under the tower as Jacob Dudar taking a boatload of damage, but it's a double kill picked up by Red as Dax tanks up that tower. And now Oatmeal has nowhere safe to go. Red needs that last little bit of damage. The Void Seeker collects the triple kill. That's another one picked up for Red. 6-0-1. This Kaisa is cooking.
This is a little bit of a coming out party for Red, who of course had sort of a rough season, and this is easily their best game they've played so far. They're looking great. Their Kaisa build is a Red build for sure, and they're cooking. I think that you're right. It's going to be a Kraken.
Is this Storm Razor?
It's got to be Kraken, right? I think it's Kraken. I'm so like I'm so invested with this red build right now. It's got to be Kraken.
Possibly, yeah. You know what? I don't remember how 80 carry items are built anymore because they keep changing them. I swear, they changed all the mythics around and then they changed the builds all the time. I can't keep track anymore. This is what happens when you end up casting Valorant more than you cast League. That's just the sad truth. I can remember all the Valorant abilities and stuff, and now I'm just like, oh man, what is League of Legends? Well, League of Legends is still pretty fun from time to time, especially when Jacob Dudar continuously finds these bandage tosses into the back lines. Red looking for even more damage, gets hit with that dredge line, but will cleanse it away. Oatmeal 1,234 might just be Oatmeal 1,235 because it's another reason why they should have just escaped that one with their life. Raptor goes down, and this bot lane has gone so far south for the side of Fat Pikachu. Unfortunately, the one who really has the Fat Pikachu is Champion Red. You think about it. The level 88 Pikachu on top of Mount Silver. He owns Fat Pikachu right now.
Yeah. They're looking great. We're gonna see another engage. I don't think Jaffe kills him here. Jakuk, Jaffe. They're gonna get out.
A lot of damage. Yeah.
Okay. Jakuk definitely answered our questions. If they know how to play this Riven, they definitely do. They're looking good. Jakuk has obviously been the MVP of FP. They look so much better when Jakuk is doing good than when they're doing bad. They're definitely the motor of the team. And unfortunately, this bot lane is having a rough time. You know, Red is...
Oatmeal might just barely survive, though. Raptor comes in the nick of time. Red needs to try and turn tail and run, but Raptor can't overchase this either. The Collector may come into effect. Red surviving with the sliver of health with Kenny Train now on the prowl here. You have to find a way in. Kenny Train will not be able to find it for the time being. At the very least, buys Oatmeal and Raptor a little bit of extra time to just farm up. But now Jacob Dudar is here. Long range Void Seeker is gonna find it.
Red is legendary.
Oh,
what a coming out party for Christian here.
Yeah, great stuff coming through from Red. As you mentioned, the build may be obscure, but it's working, and that's all that matters. And that Collector first item has just been fantastic, finding 5 kills since he picked up that item.
Jaffe taking Maokai across the map with that W, and dude, how disgusting is Maokai as a champion, by the way? That was really sad to see. He actually healed the Sylas here pretty much. We're gonna see full AP. I think that is Luden's on Sylas top. I did not see that before. Maybe we're all cooking on the side of BBZ. We're all chefing the build pass.
I think Jaffe does like to go for this heavier AP style. Most of the time you'd seen Everfrost on a Sylas, but maybe just realizing that they need to do a little bit more magic damage considering they are the only magic damage threat. Amumu doesn't count. I hate to break it to you, Jacob Dudar. You don't count as an AP champion. You just make Jaffe's damage do more.
Here. Another gank here, potentially. Jaffe run.
Should be able to survive that one. Is able to outrun those long routes as Raptor. We pan down bot lane and Raptor is at 400 HP. I dare ask the unspeakable horrors of Champion Red on that bottom side. Jakunk, though, still doing quite well. That's 40 stacks on that Ravenous Hydra as well. So that's a lot of extra damage that you're dealing with from this Riven. Also farming at 10 CS a minute. Doing a great job. Oatmeal 1,234 is Oatmeal 0 because that's how much health they have right now. The teleport even will be invested by Jakunk as well as the Rift Herald to collect this bot lane turret. They may be able to pick up the turret before... no, the Rift Herald's going to crash nonetheless, but... This has been a great early game coming through from BBZ, but this is a trend that we've seen from them as well. They play very well in the early game, and sometimes in the mid game, the wheels fall off the bus.
Yeah, BBZ and I believe Dax is their main shot caller. You know, I've been with teams at Dax and know how he plays the game pretty well. His early game shot calling is really good. We might see a gank in top lane, maybe just poising to threaten. Dax's mid game to early game shot calling is really good. I think that he struggles in certain points towards the later mid game and late game. As we're going to see a tiny engage. Ash Arrow.
Yeah, long range Ash Arrow will land onto Red. No cleanse of... Oh, had the cleanse available the entire time. Just didn't use it, didn't need to. Felt safe enough with Fire Mana and Jacob Dudar, the two bouncers keeping Champion Red alive.
Is this gonna be Triforce on Kaisa here? Surely not.
Oh, it could be Wit's End.
Mythic Force.
I mean, it
Red
could be
is
Trinity
really
Force as
cooking
well.
in here.
I'm confused at this point. Oh, another bandage toss going to land onto Oatmeal, 1,234. Once again, removed from play. Raptera as well will be taken down by Fireman, champion Red. In the middle of everyone, Stormblast trying to find anything that they can.
Legendary.
They'll teleport to their doom. Jakunk on the prowl, has that ultimate up. Gonna be looking for damage onto Dax, actually. Great animation cancels coming through from Jakunk, but unfortunately, it will not be enough to find a kill. Chase down over the wall. Jaffe will find their second kill of the game onto the Riven. And despite what Fat Pikachu were cooking, it isn't quite enough. Actually, great ultimate coming through from Kenny Train, but this Fiddlesticks is so damn squishy. Dax will fall to the tower, though. Kenny Train gonna at least collect a small shutdown, a small price to pay for the rest of the team falling before them. And Fat Pikachu, they just can't find a way back into this game.
Yeah, Kenny's all right there. Potentially saves the mid tower. We're gonna see Jaffe go down here, I believe. Oh, no.
Terror not gonna have the depth charge available, and now re-engaging with the great curse of the sad mummy is Jacob Dudar. 2 more on the board for Red. 11, 0, and 4. They can build whatever they want at this point. They're so fed.
Yeah, it was really smart by them because they knew that the dragon was going to be up. I was going to say that Kenny potentially saves the dragon play here, but BBZ re-engages when their bot lane is not ready, and their bot lane's having a rough game here. It happens though, you know, especially when I play with Josh. Tends to happen. I see Kai just going in. Did he steal us?
Oh, okay, almost able to take it away. They had the upgraded smite, just didn't get a chance to use it as Kenny Train is true on the summoner spell. Something to note there, Red picked up the Sheen and the Kindle Gem for a brief moment, undid that purchase, and now going for that Wit's End. So they were considering going for that Trinity Force, opting to go for the Wit's End instead, which is interesting as well, considering there's also only one real AP threat on the side of Fat Pikachu, that being Kenny Train. And realistically, Wit's End isn't going to help you survive the Fiddlesticks a lot of the time. You're either just going to have to turn the fight around, and Red hasn't really been at risk from Kenny Train's Crowstorms thus far. Granted, might be worried about it down the road. I'm interested to see how this build comes through.
I think it might be Rageblade 4th then? You know, Wit's End and Kraken is a really good with Rageblade. We're going to see another engage. Fireman is going top. I like this adaptation from the solo lanes here. Of course, Maokai was itemizing towards Silas, and now that Silas is no longer in their lane, you know, Yon is going to beat this Maokai pretty hard. I hope they stay top lane. It's a really smart choice that they decided to flip that. Baron is up, and they currently have priority, so they're going to get some wards here and clear out on the side of the other wards on the other side of FP. Oh, Tier, no!
Yeah, Raptor gets stopped up there. It's going to be Red following through. The Fate Seal as well will so clear it out. Crowstorm not going to be allowed to go off, and it is just a massacre for the side of Fat Pikachu. They aren't allowed to survive. BBC find 2 more kills, and now the Baron is available for the taking. Jakunk will try and collect what they can on the opposite side of the map. But this gold lead, it feels like it should be bigger considering how this game has transpired. It's only about 5,000 gold, and I think a lot of that is by virtue of Jakunk playing these side lanes and still getting a boatload of farm. 210 CS on this Riven thus far.
Yeah, it's perfect CS. 10 a minute. Perfect CS for Jakunk, who's playing incredible. I don't know if they can possibly bring this back, but they bring this back. This is easily the best Jakunk moment. They're down 15 kills, you know, 2 dragons, and we're going to see Stormblaze just... Oh, did they get out of this?
Stormblaze is in so much trouble. So many stuns to come through, and it won't be enough. I believe Jaffe also had the Enchanted Crystal Arrow hijacked away, so 4 stuns in a row for Stormblaze. No Merc Treads are going to be able to save you from that one, as the push continues for Blue Bayou Zoo on the top side of that map. 5 members strong, continuing to push down, and it's looking real rough for the side of Fat Pikachu. They haven't been able to find a fight on their own terms for this entire game.
I gotta say, we've been talking a lot about Red, but we really should be talking a lot about Jacob Dudar, who's been playing incredible. Setting up a lot of these engages, a lot of, you know, every single time we're panning over to the Zamumu, he's catching out the Nautilus, he's catching out the Stormblaze, he's catching out, you know, Oatmeal 1, 2, 3, 4, who I'm going to keep, I don't no matter what. Even if it's a mid-team fight and, like, I don't know, Adam decides to to croak and I have to shoutcast, please let's not that happen. I'm still gonna say oatmeal 1, 2, 3, 4. They've probably like oatmeal like 300 by now, just because of how many times they've unfortunately died to Jacob, Dudar, and Red. So we're gonna see them setting up for this mid tower. You know, they had to get 3 members to secure this blue just because of how far BBZ is, and really smart by Dax here to push them away from the mid tower. We're gonna see them force. Oh,
oatmeal. Once again removed from play. Jaffe will be able to escape as well. Able to drop it down the stolen away depth charge and Raptor. Now trying to play defense. Red, though, in a lot of trouble. Red gonna get shut down, and that goes to Jakunk. And here comes the Riven. As Chamber would say, you want to play, let's play. As Jakunk finds himself a kill on to the raid boss Kaisa. Teleporting into that mid lane as well to keep everything safe nonetheless. And finally, they take down the champion. Finally crowned on top of the mountain is Jakunk. But still, BBC continuing the pressure.
I was gonna say how FP gets back into this game is trying to force BBZ not to stack dragons and get these shutdowns on Red, who is, you know, an extremely wealthy character. You know, these shutdowns, I was like 1,000 gold right there to Jakunk, who is easily your most fed member. Jakunk is gonna become a problem throughout the rest of the game. Really, you know, they just got around 1,300 gold, I believe, and this dragon's gonna be coming up. And if they can continue to get these Kenny Train ults, these Fiddlesticks ults, these Crow Storms, over the wall onto the team. Do you guys hear my brother screaming in the background? I hope not.
No, I cannot hear your brother screaming in the background. If anything, I can hear the faint cries of Oatmeal 1,234 trying to stay alive. Kenny Train into the middle of the team, though, dealing lots of damage, but it's not quite enough to deal with Red thus far. Kenny Train will be removed from play. Oatmeal doing some damage now, finally allowed to free fire. A huge stun coming through as Jakunk finds another kill onto Red, and it's a sweep for Fat Pikachu at the Dragon. We got to get that instant replay on this one, because what a fight coming through, not only from Oatmeal 1,234, but also from Raptor and Jakunk. That starts out with this Pro Storm.
Keep an eye on Jakunk right here, who takes down the Silas on the other side, and then Raptor with this huge ulti on the side also gets the hook right between, splitting the uprights on Kaisa. Then gets the ult off. Bang, 3-man knockup. Fireman can't do much else, and Oatmeal 1, 2, 3, 4 is left untouched on the other side. There's gonna be a dragon pickup and potentially a red if they can get to that point. This is one more of those, and they're right back into this fight. You know, really good fight. That was solid by FP. Really good mechanics there. And I was gonna say BBC struggles a lot with their mental in a lot of these games. A lot of times they get tilted, and I don't know about you, but they might be tilted. Hopefully not from that play right there. And if they continue to make these plays, they continue to really bring back a insurmountable lead, insurmountable game that they had, Mission Impossible level. They continue to get these goal leads. Oh my god, dude! What's
I heard that one. Oh man, that one was audible. But nonetheless, it's been an incredible performance from Jakunk thus far. And as you mentioned, this would be a crown jewel in their MVP resume if they are to bring this game back from the brink. Oatmeal 1,234 was finally able to dish out damage worthy of that number in that fight as well, despite being over 5,000 gold behind. You look at the flip side of the script here. Fireman has had an excellent game. They are 4-2-4. They are doing what they need to on this Y1. It doesn't matter because Jakunk is 4,500 gold up on them. And now this game starts to turn on its head because you've got this massive team fight start tool with the Maokai ultimate. You've got a great follow-up with Kenny Train's ultimate in the Crow Storm. You've got Raptor, who's finally gotten a chance to stay alive and drop down all the crowd control that we expect from Nautilus. And then you've got Jakunk to clean up the fights afterwards, doing so much damage on this Riven. You can see the vision now starting to form from Fat Pikachu's side, where all of a sudden you've got a fat wallet on Jakunk, and you've got the Pikachu from, I don't know where else. There's no static shift, so there's no Pikachu showing up. They don't have a cannon either, but nonetheless, Fiddlesticks is kind of like scary cannon.
Oh, Jakunk might be caught out. Oh, what a sidestep by Jakunk there. Oh, that was gross. Okay. Yeah, I'm a little disappointed actually that the Ash did not get the static shiv, as you said. That would definitely be a Pika moment, a Pikachu moment.
Pika smile.
Pika's smile for sure. A lot of people go static shift first. I personally hate it on Ash, but you know, I get yelled at a lot by the UB members for me to build it because of Law Legs approved. But we're gonna see another ult right here for Kenny Train Crowstorm over the wall.
Yeah, and it's massive damage dealt. The Enchanted Crest, no, not quite gonna land, but Red is in that back line, taking so much damage. He's not in this fight at all. The Void Seeker is gonna be the only thing that they can do to answer. It's already a kill picked up. Jaffe is just showing up to this fight now, will not be able to have much impact, and now Jakunk, with that ultimate, still has the second charge to potentially toss it out. Will not opt to do so, but it's a mid-tier 2 picked up, and all of a sudden, with Baron now spawned on the map, Fat Pikachu have found their angle back into this game. Gonna do a nice little Fnatic push, see if they can catch something out on the way through. Will just be Stormblast sort of holding the line for now, but yes, they are going to turn and burn towards this Baron. Could be a pivotal moment for the large rodents of electric background here. And that Baron's just melting right now. Jaffe did teleport off to the side. Dax is here with that smite.
Dax
Will they be able to find a way in? Dax needs to try and find this steal. It's a shutdown picked up under Raptor. It's going to be stolen away by Jaffe of all people. How did they find that one? Jakunk will be the only Pikachu to stay alive. It's a triple kill picked up by Red on the back end of that fight. And how did this all happen, Brendan? What just happened?
Did this happen? I was gonna say Dax must have stolen this, but no, Jaffe comes in and steals it with his chains, I believe, on the opposite side. Unfortunately, FP is low here. This is a little bit of an aggressive purple worm take. And we're gonna see absolutely Rhetoric gets one shot by the Sejuani. Wait, what? Where did he even get the?
He threw the chains over the wall.
Was he attempting to get the purple worm? I wasn't even able to take a look. Okay, Jaffe things. I guess just Jaffe things. I don't.
Just Jaffe things.
Jaffe things, I guess. Clearly RJ gap.
Yeah, and
Dude, what is my brother doing? Do you hear this? Like, I feel really sorry for you guys. If you can hear this. I'm gonna have to talk to him soon. What is happening?
Molding seems to be the answer, and unfortunately for the side of Fat Pikachu, they're going to be kicking themselves molding after that one well. Jakunk just trying to stay alive, but Jakunk might not be able to stay alive. Jaffe gonna go golden just for the pose, as Jakunk forced to retreat for the time being. Enchanted Crystal Arrow gonna land onto Jaffe though. Gotta be careful. Look at this crowd control. Lockdown coming through. Jaffe taking so much damage, but will not fall. It's a 3-man fate sealed from Fire Mana, but Fire Mana will pay the price, as will Jacob Dudar on the way out. Oh my goodness, chase down onto Red once again. Jakunk collects another one into the inventory. It's a double kill for the Riven. And despite what looked to be a comeback from Fat Pikachu, the purple worm going over to BBZ means 2 inhibitors. Granted, this game is far from over. Jaffe, be careful around that blue buff.
Yeah, that's a kind of a costly mistake for BBZ. They might have gotten the purple worm. They might have got 2 inhibs, but this does mean that FP gets the first on
Duskblade Kaisa.
Dude, all right, you know what? If BBZ wins this game, I need a Red interview. I need to understand what this man was cooking. We need to hear about it. I don't know where he came up with this. This looks like a 2v2 build that I would decide to do with some Remy gameplay. And as I was saying, FP is gonna get the priority over this dragon. I think that this potentially should be theirs. See if Fiddlesticks decides to stay off the side of the Fog of War. That's really gonna be important for their ulti. They're just gonna take blue buff. Fiddlesticks. Oh wait, I'm getting freaking baited by the freaking effigy. I'm getting baited by the effigy. My bad. You see him on the Wait, I just got. My bad, guys.
Dax going over the wall though, and no one's really here to answer it. Raptor just wants to get out alive. Fat Pikachu. Oh, that's a big ultimate from Dax. Not going to land onto Jakunk. I don't think they know that Jakunk was there. But look at the map. It's split wide open. Jaffe now in the base, buying time. Everyone showed up. It was all a ruse here as BBZ looking to shut this one down. It's a double kill picked up by Fireman. Kenny Trade, though, in the middle of everyone, has burnt down the Kaisa once again. Dax, it will barely stay alive, will not stay alive, but Jaffe is just ending the game. We're going to get a quick replay on that one because Oatmeal is dealing with all of these minions. And despite the kill on the Stormblast, Jaffe just shuts it down. Oatmeal not allowed to stay alive. Oatmeal 1,234 falls down. But now Jaffe trying to end this game as quickly as possible. I don't think Jakun can hold the line here. There are too many members of Blue Bayou Zoo. as Red's build is such an abomination, but hey, if it works, it works. BBZ get themselves their 10th win.
BBZ with a ginormous, huge, gigantic. I can't make of any more puns. Sorry. Let me stop. BBZ with a huge win for the implications of playoffs. You know, this gets them above FP in the spot. I believe that means they secure 4th. Let me check. Yeah, that's potentially a 4th or 3rd. This huge little gap. I'm speaking words. I still hear my brother screaming in the background. I'll be right back, guys.
Nonetheless, an incredible performance coming through from the side of BBZ to get themselves their 10th win. Honestly, because I get to give I'm alone here. I get to say whatever I want now. I will give the MVP for that game. Obviously goes to Champion Red, I think. Just a very odd build coming through, but if it works, it works. If it wins you the game, I guess it wins you the game. Of course, great performance from Jakunk on the opposite side. Just a little bit too little too late for the Riven. The obscure pick worked like a charm, but unfortunately was bested by an even more obscure build in that sense. Nonetheless, we are
So
going
Rare
to head
Adam,
to a
before
break.
we go to our break, I did make myself the stream can hear me, so you're not talking to the void. I have a little bit of trivia I want to quiz you on. So
Okay.
I looked it up on Lolalytics. What do you think the win rate for first item collector Kaisa is?
57%.
Oh. Yes, it is. Did you look it up? Sorry,
I did not look it up.
Did you snipe that?
It's on my
Hell
monitor,
yeah.
so I also would have got that.
I just guessed.
I got some lore for you guys before we head out. Apparently my brother's raging at his Overwatch teammates. Apparently they're not healing him enough, and that's the issue. And I had to talk to him. I legitimately thought he was like battling like someone in my house, but I guess not.
I think the important takeaway here is that there are still Overwatch players.
I mean, he's 13, 12, something like that.
Oh,
So
okay.
I was a little nervous. I'm like, what is happening down there?
Understandable.
Sorry, guys.
Anyways, we're going to head to a break before the interview with Champion Red after this. We'll be right back with that one.
Hello, folks. Chris Edgeworth here with our final interview of the night, and I am joined this time by BBZ's bot laner, Champion Red. How are you feeling after the win?
Feeling pretty good. It's always nice to have a game where you pick up a lot of kills, especially in FOF.
Yeah, you absolutely smurfed it in this game. Let's set the table with the draft. Very interesting picks all the way around. You folks putting the Silas onto the top side. And also just having the overall just flexibility of the things that we saw, the Riven coming through on the other side for Jakunk, the Fiddlesticks coming in for Kenny Trey. There's a lot of interesting stuff all the way around. So curious, what was your thoughts getting ready for this draft and what you ended up against?
I mean, we kind of knew that we wanted the Kaiser or something similar to it in the early game or in the early picks, and it played out pretty, as we kind of expected until they locked like Riven Fiddlesticks. We definitely weren't expecting those two picks. And on a personal note, I hate Fiddlesticks. I hate playing against it. So like, it definitely throws a wrench in your mental a little bit sometimes. But overall, I was happy with our draft, and I think we played it well.
Let's switch into the game there. We talked a little bit in the break about sort of just how potent your early laning went and how it just sort of set you up for the snowball here. Talk to me if you could about how the early game shook out for you folks, how you got off to such an amazing lead.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely wasn't expecting us to take the trades with us early because we definitely win the trades. So we ended up picking up an early kill, and that definitely started our snowball bot lane. And then I know that our mid laner picked up a pretty early kill mid, which kind of helped him stay relevant. We know that we were pretty concerned about that matchup, and we know that we were wanting to play safe around mid, so getting that early inflow of gold onto him was really beneficial to us. Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about the moment where there was a collective gasp. Jakunk was able to pick up several kills at that fight around the dragon. What was the comms like for BBZ when that all happened? And just a little confidence shaker, but you folks were able to come through and it just come blazing back in the end.
Yeah, I mean, that one was just me bitching about that Nautilus hook because I was pretty positive that had missed me, and I can't really remember, but I think I had flash, and I thought I was safe to just not flash, but that was just a mistake on my part. And it was just kind of a misstep, and I think that was our second little misstep, and that was partially me. I've been having a relatively difficult time adjusting to AD carry positioning after playing top for the past 2 seasons. So sometimes I just get caught a little bit too far forward, and it kind of backfires.
Let's shift gears to talking about tomorrow. You folks will be matching up against Art of War Esports. What are your thoughts on that matchup?
I'm looking forward to it. Obviously, I've played against Ariri and his teams for a very long time. And at first, we actually had a really bad win rate into them on BBZ, and it wasn't until I was really on UB that I started actually winning games against Ariri's teams. So I'm kind of hoping that we can take the W tomorrow, just because obviously it would be better for our standings going into playoffs. But it would also, I want to say I can't think of a time that I actually beat one of Ariri's teams. Oh, actually, I think we beat one of them in season 4, one of his secondary teams. But I don't think I've beaten a team with Ariri on it on BBZ before. So I'm definitely looking forward to taking them on tomorrow and seeing if we can do it.
Hell yeah. Well, good luck with that. Hell of a game from you today, Champion Red. Exceptionally well done. So we'll leave it there, folks. That is going to be our third game wrapped up. Another win in the column of BBZ. We have one more game coming up next for the night. Actually, an exhibition match. More on that when we get into the game, but it will be our match between Art of War Esports and Pandas with Hats. We'll be back very soon with game number 4.
Thank you.